lamp fans. This week we're going to be looking at glass lampshades. I had a viewer request a video on what makes glass lampshades valuable and collectible. So we're going to have to do some walking around for this. We're going to walk and we're going to look at a few things. So you really need to have reference material. Now this is an older price book by Bill Corder, but it has the tips in here on how to spot the difference between a new and an old one. And I can show you some of these. I have most of these in here, or here, new and old, and there's also a price list in here too. And you know, some of them are right off the scale for what they're worth. Obviously, the original older ones are worth more than the new reproduction ones. The reproduction ones are great if you want to use them, and if the cat knocks them over, who cares? The older ones, you'd be a little upset. So if we go in here, we can start at the very beginning. So the 201, so I actually have a 201 right over here. This on this lamp here. And essentially what what the book is saying here, if you take a look, is that if the line goes in, you know, at the low point here, that's an original. And if it comes to a high point, then it's a reproduction or a newer one. And they built them like that on purpose because they wanted to keep the value in the old ones. Most of these lampshades I'm showing you are worth, you know, $100, $150. They're not super expensive, but they are rare because they break. You know, all the original lamps, you know, the ones through right up to number 12 here on the end, they all came with or were optional for glass shades. It was only the 12 that came with an optional paper shade or Aladdinite shade at the time, 1928. And then when they went to the glass lamps, I don't have lights on in the room here, I'm kind of sorry. When they went to the glass lamps in 32, they did come with optional glass shades. I think the 701 glass shade, I'll show you one of those. But they were pushing into parchment or Whippolite shades because you could ship 10 at a time in the same space it takes one. They were half the price, they didn't break, and they did a good job. Now, since we're out here, we're going to look at what came on the model. Turn some more lights on here too, sorry. What came on the Model 7s and 8s. So these, I think they're called the 401s. So if you take a look at them, you can see there's quite a bit of detail. And these are like, that's a frosted finish one. And this is more of a more of a glazed finish. Now these are both original. And the bottom fitter is not 10 inches. It's under 9 inches. And then if you look at a new reproduction one, this is a satin finished one. And it really doesn't have the detail. It has some bumps like versus that. So it's a dead giveaway, and it's bigger and it's heavier. And here's another one too. This is more of a glossy glass finish, and it has very little detail on it at all. I mean, it needs to be good for regular use lamps. So that's a couple there. The original artichoke lamp would be quite valuable, probably $600 or $700. This is obviously a reproduction one, and the key difference is here is that it looks brand new, but if you come up here, this is going to be the difference. The new one, it finishes right at the top, and the older one, it finished down a bit lower. They look pretty close to the same when you have them side by side, so you know, buyer beware. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to look at this Model 6 that's running right now. And it's got a 301 Chippendale, I think it's what it's called. And that's an original. I don't think they reproduced those. But they're a nice shade. Nice period shade, 1915. Now we're going to go to the workshop. And we'll see what we have in there. So I guess we can look at these guys here would be a great example. So this, I believe, is the 509. I have to grab my book here. Yeah, 50111. So here's an original one. So you can take a closer look. You can really see it has a piece of dust on it there, but you can see the tulip. And the pineapples look kind of nice. Whereas the reproduction one, there's just bumps. Pineapples look okay, but there's bumps. They're not even there. So this is not a really nice reproduction one. And then there's another original one there on the end. Slightly different finish in the first. This is kind of like fired on the inside, and that's kind of fired on the outside. So those are definitely originals. And then we can look at one of the earlier ones here too. So this is, I believe, a 201 or Bullseye. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot kind of what this one's called, but that's an original one as well. Then we get up to the 701s here. So this would have came out for like the Model A burner. And you can really tell that this thing here is all original. It's kind of like the glazing is kind of discolored on it. It's got nice crisp lines, and it has like a hobnail on the bottom, whereas the new one is pretty much smooth. Nice shade if you're going to use it, but you know, not an original. And there are other ones, like that's a new style. The old ones were just clear at the bottom. I don't have any here to show you, but that kind of shows you the differences between some of the new and the old ones. Yes, you need a price book to figure out what these things are worth, and you don't pay too much. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and have a great day.